Okay, so now that you've sat with me and we've gone through the entire book of Matthew on my YouTube page, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it. So this very first video, we're going to go through just a little bit of history about it before we actually get into the gospel itself. Now, everybody should know that Matthew was one of the apostles. His original name was Levi. He was the tax collector that Yeshua came up to in chapter 9 and basically just said, hey, follow me. And Levi dropped everything, just like the other apostles did, and followed him to the end. So historically, the book of Matthew, mainstream Christianity will tell you that it was written in Greek like the other four Gospels, but new evidence has produced a copy, I believe, of an original Aramaic version of Matthew, Hebrew version of Matthew, which is makes much more sense than the Greek version, because these guys, for the most part, that's who they were. They were Hebrews. So they wrote, speak, read, all that kind of stuff in Hebrew Aramaic, okay? And it was probably written before the destruction of the temple in 70 AD, so nobody really knows. But if you think about it, 33 AD, when Yeshua passed and was resurrected into glory, praise the Father, 30 years later, this is documented. So a lot of people have issues with believing the accounts of the Gospels, but when you think about it, they're first-hand eyewitness accounts. Now, there are so many figures throughout history that people believe in all day long who do not have this kind of support. So not only does the Almighty's account have backing from one gospel, he's got it from three others, not to mention all of the writings that came afterward. So, as we get into the book of Matthew, the first thing that we'll see in chapter 1 is the genealogy of the Messiah. Now, the Almighty works in codes and numbers and in mystery, and that's part of the greatness of who he is and what he's about. No matter how smart we think we are, there's no way that we can ever figure all of this out. You know what I mean? It's just a beautiful, amazing thing. So the genealogy of the Messiah starts with Abraham, and you go from Abraham down 14 generations to King David, okay? From King David to King Jeconiah, I hope I'm saying that right, that's another 14 generations. Now, King Jeconiah was in charge when the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, came and was given authority to basically take all of Israel and Judea into exile. Now, from King Jeconiah all the way down to the birth of Yeshua, that's another 14 generations. So you have three sets of 14. The significance of that, I personally really can't tell you, but obviously there's many things that we just don't really need to know the meaning of. We just need to honor its magnificence. Okay. The conception and the birth of the Messiah. For the most part, we all know the story. Joseph was betrothed to Mary. He finds out she's pregnant. It hurts his feelings. Obviously, he's a man, right? He doesn't know what to do with her. He doesn't want to be mean. He doesn't want her to be punished. So he plans to send her away in the middle of the night. The angel comes to Joseph, tells him the story, says, hey, she has a baby in her womb who is conceived by the Holy Spirit, praise the Father. And that child will be named Yehoshua. And that's the thing that a lot of people have issues with. Let's remember, Jesus is not his name. Jesus is a translation of a translation of a transliteration, But his real name, given unto him by the Father above, the one name under heaven that we are supposed to call upon, is Yehoshua. And if you shorten that down, it's Yeshua, which was much more common for his time. Okay? If you need an English translation, it's Joshua, plain and simple. Look it up. That's his name. Let's honor it from now on, okay? So anyway, he understands.